Have that at least once a week. You're not taking enough risk. If it's hey, everything's going well, I nailed it all, you're not trying hard enough. There's got to be at least one point every week where something goes horrifically wrong. What am I doing? What is this? Like, why'd I even try?
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by Unlocking Greatness with Jacob Emery, a coaching community built for those ready to become the strongest version of themselves. Weekly calls, proven playbooks, and a community built to grow. Greatness is not given, it's unlocked. Join us today at jacobemery.com or DM coach at jacobemery44 on all social media platforms. Welcome to another edition of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast. Today we have a repeat offender. Patrick is back on the show. My dude, digital marketing, strategic coach, my homie, a girl dad. I mean, my God, we got so many great things to celebrate, Patrick. What a privilege it is to be alive today, be living our best life, doing the thing we want to do. Man, Patrick, what's going on?
Life is good. Life is good. My daughter is turning 5 months in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
She's healthy. She's happy. My wife is happy and healthy. That's incredibly important. Business is good. Family is good. Everything else is a bonus.
Man.
How about you?
Well, let's just say this sponsor today for the show is Girl Dads United. All the girl dads out there, shout out to you. It's such an amazing thing when you have a kid. I have two girls, man. I would have never thought that I would have been able to handle that and able to be patient enough. And I think it was exactly what I needed to become who I am today, where my persistence in life has always been a thing that I never had an issue with, but now my patience is much better because of that girl dad thing. Persistent patience is now my life motto. And I would say a lot of that patience came from having two girls. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I absolutely love it. And it's the greatest joy of my life.
That's great to hear. I'm still on 5 months, so it's we're still learning. I know there's going to be a lot of fun times ahead, but she is the best. I mean, it's being a parent, becoming a parent. We came home with her, Bia, and told my wife, I was like, I could have 1 million kids, and she's like, oh, okay, well, you're not the one having the kids, so we're gonna.
Yeah, you get to go leave every day, and you get to go do your thing while I stay here. Just pump the brakes, Patrick. Yeah. That's hilarious, man. I tell you what, there is nothing better, and I'm absolutely excited for you. I know last time I coached, I think it was like just had baby in November. And
no, it was
right?
She was still expecting, so I had my phone.
Okay.
It was 3 weeks before the due date, and she came a week early. So actually, my wife, it was first football Sunday. My wife was pretty direct. She's like, "We're having the baby today." I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready whenever you are."
Yeah,
and
finally.
then,
Jeez,
of course, six hours later, she's like, "My water broke. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay." We had the baby. It was.
So she really knew.
It was incredible. Yes, yeah. She manifested it.
Yeah, love it. So let's get in. I mean, it's February 5th, right? So we're at the beginning of the year still. I feel like time is so fast right now and accelerating so quickly with AI, with technology advancement the way it is. You can't get ahead of anything. I mean, it's like you're one step forward, 10 steps back on a daily basis as far as what's, advancing. But the more that we learn, I think also the more that time speeds up, the time accelerates based on our knowledge. And so I had a really interesting like New Year kind of transition where I don't know that I need to discover new information anymore, dude. I think I just need some discernment on what I already know to be true. And I took this like pump of the brakes for almost a month where my personal development was there, but it wasn't like I'm not seeking out this obsessive new information. I'm not looking for all this new content, this new thing. I really need to just go back to the basics and say, what do I know to be true? And what do I need to get better at that I know is true? And is there really a gap in what I know? Or is it me just trying to download more information and be more distracted on not like, am I avoiding what is already there as a truth and it's controlling me? And now I'm seeking for information on something I already know. So, discovery versus discernment, thinking about it from that lens. Is that relatable to you at all as you come into the new year planning and looking at the reflection of last year?
I couldn't agree more. Trying to figure out what information is important, because it's easy to. I mean, everybody wants your attention now. We're on a
Mm-hmm.
podcast that's going to be out there. You can listen to us. You can listen to us at 2 times speed to get through it even faster. I have a ton of content that I love to listen to, but it's very easy to add. And I've just listened to somebody that said January is the month to get light, so delete everything. So I mean, I personally, I feel like I have all of these email subscriptions that I feel bad about unsubscribing, and I don't read the emails, but I just have them,
Mm-hmm.
and I just went on a tear. I'm like, if I don't see the email and get excited, it's gone. And then you do that with your closet, and you do that with your, and then at a certain level, I had my project management tool at work. I went through and I had a whole bunch of tasks that I was like, I'll get to this someday, and you'd see it every 2 weeks, and you click it and you send it 2 weeks forward, and I was like, gone. Everything that, because you're right, there's so many new things. It's terrifying,
It is.
but everybody's overwhelmed. And you can kind of pick and choose. I mean, the freedom of it is it's easier than ever to get a sense of what's going on. I mean, there's a new um, tool where it's like not a project, it's like a CRM, it's an alternative. And I mean, you could watch a YouTube video on it. They could give you a demo. You could use AI to get a synopsis of it. Like you could learn it faster than ever. So it's going to be a crazy year.
How do you simplify by subtraction? Because if you can simplify what you have, subtract what you don't need, and then that is going to add value to everything and everybody that you're working with. So for me, it's like, okay, how do I subtract to add, and how do I simplify to alleviate complexity? Life is complex enough. We don't have to. Being the smartest person in the room to me is about knowing the most complex topic and simplifying it down to the easiest understanding. And we were talking about before we started recording about 8 or 80, regardless of age in between there. Can you express and explain what you do and simplify it to a point where 8-year-old or 80-year-old clearly understands it, and there's no real like gap there from a high level? And it's like, okay, so what do I need to subtract? What do I need to simplify? That's Charlie Munger, too hard, too hard. Whenever a business investment would come up, the first thing he would say, if it was too complex for his investment, he knew what complexity looked like. He knew what simplicity looked like. And even if it was gray to him, he's like, it's too hard. And that's what he would say on the investment. I'm out because it's too hard. Not that he didn't understand it, but not that he thought it was understandable enough to scale. So that simplicity, man, is huge. What's 2026 look like for Patrick with the subtraction, simplicity? You mentioned one new thing there. What's going on,
Well,
man? What's the big plan for
I
the year?
thrive on scorecards, KPIs. I've got I mean, every year start off with 5 personal professional goals. They have to be measurable. So then I can look at them every month or week or day and decide, is this achieving or not achieving? Some of them are just yeses and nos. Did I achieve this goal or not? Others are like work out 5 days a week, where I could go through and every week and say, did I work out 5 days or 4 days or 6 days? But where's my average? And then the same thing for the business. It's setting measurable goals. If we want to achieve X revenue with X profit, we need X amount of clients at an average of X amount. And you could go through and say every month, okay, what's our number of clients? What's our average client size? What's our new client? Like, that's a big focus for us, right? What's the average value of every new client gained? Because if our goal is to get to double the size, but with the same amount of business, we need to be focused on bigger opportunities.
Yeah.
Because those bigger opportunities, our team, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The inputs can be the same, but if the business is in an industry or has the abilities to impact people at a 10x scale, they're going to see 10x results based on our same inputs. So it's finding those opportunities and supporting those businesses. I mean, it's difficult, right? It's very easy to add. Put this on your calendar. Go to this event. We have all of that. Like, and I mean, it's the way I approach it this year is I did this last year too, right? I'm having a daughter now. I have a daughter. I have a wife. Both of them are priority number one. So everything that's going on my calendar, my strategic assistant has the goal of, is this essential or not? Like, is this something that is going to add value? Because if it's a nice to have, like it's not going to be on.
What is the outcome that you're searching for? Like at the end of it, you have to say, what's the end outcome that you need? profit margin, net profit, gross margin, whatever it is, have that in mind. And then you have to work back from there, because you cannot start on today and say, I'm going to achieve X, Y, and Z at the end. You have to start at the end and come backwards, because it's so easy to say, I'm going to do 5 million revenue this year. Okay, well, are you going to do that? Like, lay out every quarter, what's your revenue target? What's your customer acquisition?
Yes.
What's your product you're selling? Show me the data.
And Jacob, I'm very emotionally ambiguous at times. Of the goals help me at the end of the year say, was it a good year or not, based on these inputs, not did I wake up and did I feel good today? So it's good for the business and personal. That's what I've really found, is looking at this and saying, did I have a great year, and appreciating everything I did, because it's easy to get to the end and say, well, yeah, I did this, and this, but I didn't do this, and then feeling bad about it, versus look at everything that we accomplished.
What does good enough mean to you? Good enough isn't a feeling, it's a reality check, my dude. Like, are you good enough to be an entrepreneur? Well, look at your resume. I would say that's a check, yes, right? Good enough isn't how you feel, it's what you actually did. And goals are like targets, but they're not realities. They're just things that we accomplish because of who we become. Standards are everything for me. So your habits and what you do on a daily basis determine your outcomes. It's not the goal you set. You can set any goal you want in the world, but who are you to become the person able to achieve that? So your habits determine that. Your outputs, yes, they determine your outcomes, but you're not going to have a goal on a poster and go achieve it without doing the thing that it's required to get there.
Of course, that's insanity. Looking at the same affirmation every day and saying, oh, okay, I have a $10 million check on my wall. I'm going to get 10 million, and then just doing the same things over and over again.
We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. And systematic success is something that 10 years ago, I would have never understood what it means. Save yourself some time, energy, money, and stress is what systems represent to me, because you cannot outperform bad pricing. You cannot outperform a lack of process. You cannot outperform not dieting correctly, or not, or hitting the snooze on your alarm clock. There are certain things in life that are true that you have to do that are going to get you the results you want if they're abnormal results. Doing normal things will not get you abnormal results.
Are you still waking up at 4 a.m.?
No, I'm waking up at 2:50 a.m.
You're 4 a.m. in the gym.
I'm by 4:30 in the morning. I'm pretty much done working out. Yeah, so I get there about I get there around 3:30, and I'm done around 4:30. 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm done. But yes, I'm still doing the thing.
It's incredible.
I don't know how many years ongoing, and you just have to forget about how you feel and follow the plan if you want the result. You can say that you want the result, and that's one thing, but you don't want it if you don't do the thing that it's required to get there. So nothing drives me crazy more than people expecting to get this outcome being different than what they already have, without changing who they are and what they're doing to get it. You can't have aspirational goals without having aspirational standards for your life. You just can't do it. And I think that's where
that is it's a good lesson in a constant challenge for business owners. Is you have clients you need to work with, you have team members that show up and are focused, you have the economy, you have the political environment, you have interest rates that control how much money, that you have all of these inputs, and at any given time they're all going haywire, and you need to control what you can. And it's easy when you explain it that way to buzz out and say, how is this even, like, how do you even wake up in the morning and live a structured life? But you set these intentions, but you have to do, you're right, you have to do the inputs, and you need to do them well. And you, at the end of it, if you don't hit your goals, you need to go back and say, okay, what can I, because not every year is record, unless you're lucky, record profits, record revenues. Like, we're doing great, there's no issues ever. Like, you constantly get kicked in the chest, and then constantly have to look at it and say, okay, well, I learned something new, let's do it this way instead. And I still see it as a fun battle every day. I know it's one of those interesting endeavors where you need to see it as an opportunity, because it's the most hectic environment you're ever going to be in.
Yeah. The ability to stay in a good mood regardless of what's actually happening in your life. So it's something that, man, life gets hard. Every optimistic person I've ever met has a struggle at some point staying optimistic. There's a time where it's so hard to get out of your own way. Like, how do I get through this? I don't know the outcome. There is no clear outcome. There is no good outcome that could be true. And regardless of what is occurring in life, we have to realize that the memory that we have in our past that was bad drives the fear of the future outcome that we're scared of. But it also negates the ability to be present in today with gratitude. So we have to eliminate the memory from the past as being bad. We have to eliminate the fear from the future state, or the present moment is always going to be fear driven. And you can't create a better future until you create a better past. Dan Sullivan says that. So how do you create a better past as a learning experience, not this obstacle that you have to continuously overcome? Because no matter what happened yesterday, Patrick, it's psychological. What we feel was created. It's not something that actually happens to us.
Yeah.
It's something we make up, right? No matter how hard it is, the feeling that we have about this thing is something that is up here. It's not a reality. It's a perception. So how do you change your perception despite what you feel in that moment? And how quickly are you overcoming the adversity and making that an accomplishment?
I think the better business owners, the quicker turnaround. If you're I know earlier on in my career, there's things that happen that truly jolted me. And this is in business right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, personal, I've been very fortunate, an incredible life. But in business, you get things that happen and you're like, I'm never going to recover from this. And you figure it out. And then it happens again. You're like, oh, I know I have the playbook now. And then now, I mean, we're 8 years later. Whew, Jesus, 8 years later. And something will happen and it's not even like, it's not, I'm like, okay, just do this. We're good. Like, let's go to the next thing. But you talk to owners, shout out strategic coach. You talk to owners that are at that next level that you're hoping to achieve and they give you their problems. And I know sometimes like when you share it, I was like, oh my God, I physically, I don't think I could survive this. And I guess you don't know until you know, but at least you get a sense of, it's easy as an owner and it's easy in life to say, I'm going to be better if I blink, if I get double the revenue, if I have a bigger company, if I win $1 million, like all of these things, it's so easy to say it'll be better, but then it happens. And then you realize like there's challenges to every single outcome. And if you're unprepared for them, you're going to quickly go back down to like, you're going to win the lottery. You're going to get all this money. You have no ability. It's like, if we go to the gym together and you put on the weight that you lift, like I can't look at that. It's funny when you talk to somebody and like, oh, I can handle the lottery. Like, give me $1 billion. I'll be fine. Like, you haven't handled $10 million. Like, how can you approach that amount confidently? And then you go to the gym and it's the same thing of like the weight you put on. I'm not going to look at that and say, oh yeah, like I can lift that. I haven't lifted half of that, but I can. Why not? Why not try this out and hurt myself? So it takes that incremental.
Man. Yeah. Well, sequencing equals success for everybody. There is no like shortcutting the line. There's no shortcutting the weightlifting. You don't just say I'm gonna be stronger today than I was last year. I'm gonna be stronger than this dude than I am right now. No, you're not. You're gonna do the work to get stronger. It's gonna happen when you put the work in. It's gonna happen when you've earned it, right? Not when you think you deserve it, because what you feel about it is irrelevant. It's what you actually do. With technology, instant access to everything with information, the work doesn't go away. It just accelerates what pain points we may have had with, like, for me, development of an idea. Now I can accelerate it much better because I don't have to develop much of it. And myself, I can have it develop for me, or I can delegate it to somebody else. But I still have to go lift the weight. I still have to go put in the work. I still have to be creative enough to know how to prompt AI, or how to know which AI platform to use or what tool to look for. That doesn't take that part away. Now, I also think there's the other side of it where how many people are so distracted with what's possible that they don't realize what's happening. So for you, what have you seen with that? Like thinking about...
I always section off a little bit. There's always a little bit of time for testing, trial and error. Like, let's try the new fancy tool, but you can easily, and I see this all the time, something new comes out. And our goal with the businesses we work with is our North Star, generate new leads for our clients. Like, that's it. and you'll see ideas like, oh, we should do this, we should burn out, everybody uses AI, why do I even need a website? And you're sitting there, you're like, hey, we need to generate new leads for you. Here's statistically and based on our current results, here's what's working. Like, yeah, it could change, and we do need to hedge our bets, and we do need to invest in your AI visibility, and that needs to be measured. But it's making sure there's always time for trial and error and the new things and testing, and that's great. But making sure you don't lose out on the fact of what's working is incredibly important. And I mean, you need a partnership there, because if you're in a vacuum, it's easy to get lost and spend all day, I mean, researching things that never come to fruition, or testing things and distracting yourself. And it's easy to, at the end of the day, say, oh, I did so much work today, but where's the measurable result? And again, in business, it's all about the end result of, are you able to implement? And right, everybody loves to do research and development, but that product needs to, or that service or that strategy needs to at some point be battle tested.
Research is necessary, development is necessary. But if you spend your life researching and developing, but nothing ever actually achieved anything, you did nothing but spend someone else's money at a high rate, with hypotheticals. So I think about this a lot. I know a lot of people that they hold a standard to time spent, but not outcomes. For me, busy is not productivity. Productivity is productivity regardless of time spent, because you can measure the outcome. So with you, how do you look at the unknown? I don't know if you're a perfectionist or not, but this is something I've seen a lot, where you don't know what done looks like yet. It's something fresh or new that you're putting in place that you need to have, but you don't know how to get it to the end result. And you got to have an imperfect process at the beginning. Like for us, job costing at R&R, a few years ago, we implemented job costing. I spearheaded the development of it, got it, in place, but it was an imperfect thing that we needed information input to for the outcome to be there. It was imperfect. So that was like my wheelhouse. Like, I know it doesn't have to be dialed in 10 out of 10 because it doesn't exist yet. That's what end goal is. So imperfect process, I got it. I'm good. But not knowing if it's going to work or not. And then that hypothetical, like, what if it's this? What if it's that? But you have to start somewhere to scale from that starting point, right? How is that land for you?
Well, it's my view on this. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have the perfect project scope. You're never going to have the perfect sales tactic. You're never going to, but if you do, it's like lifting. You're rarely going to have the perfect set, but if you do it a whole bunch of times, you're going to get pretty close, and the result is going to come out of it. So we do a lot of analyzing when, I mean, again, shout out Strategic Coach, Experience Transformers. If something goes wrong, or we sign a project and then we look back and say, hey, this was a terrible fit for us, we need to figure out why and then fix it. But you can't analysis by paralysis. You can't think, oh, well, if this isn't perfect, then no, you need. And that, again, we the way we structured our business, we work with 100+ companies. We're well diversified. So it's not a big risk if we make a mistake, because I know, one, if our intentions are there, our team's going to nail the result. Yes, we might learn our lesson and get better next time, but we've got an incredible team. And we only work with clients that we really want to work with. It's not like I have an investor behind me, or we have some hedge fund that says, okay, if you don't scale 100x, sign everybody and anybody. So again, we could talk to people, and if we're not a good fit, we'll tell them. And then that way we can eliminate that uncertainty as well. And then you get somewhere in the middle where it's like, it's kind of, hopefully running a business has prepared me for being a father. I know there's a lot of similarities of, like, you go into it with your best intentions, and then sometimes shit hits the fan and you got to figure it out. So it's one of those things of, I mean, if you're doing the right things and you have the right intentions and you have the right vision, and you need to be willing to adjust and listen. And it's a lot of hope. It's a lot of, hey, I know there's going to be things that we could do better. And, at worst case situation, I'm kind of like you. If it's a tough day, I know the next day I can wake up at 4:50 in the morning. I could be in the office at 6 a.m. And we'll figure it out. Like, well, you'll figure it out. You'll just wake up earlier. And then someday maybe I'll be waking up at 2:50 like you.
Hopefully you're not. It's not the best some days, I've seen 11 o'clock in the last couple months more than I'm probably seen in the last 5 years, and it's exhausting some days, some nights. I don't always recommend it either. So I'm not advocating to do what I do, but sometimes it's just a season of this is what it is.
Yeah.
I haven't,
but it does come down to, just doing consistent inputs, because everybody knows what they need to do. It's just, can you do it or not?
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by R&R Pipeline Inc., an infrastructure company. Join our team today at rrpipelineinc.com.
So if you want to get stronger, you need to go to the gym. Can you get it done or not? You want to achieve more in business. Okay, well, you need to show up to more events. You need to make more calls. You need to talk to your biggest clients more and understand why they're succeeding and what they're looking at and what are the biggest factors impacting them, so you can solve those issues. And you need to, do the grunt work. And it's the end of the year, right? You need to analyze your P&L and see where the biggest costs were and do those make sense for next year. And all those people know what they need to do. It's just, can you do it?
Continuity, man. Continuity, long term of doing the same boring damn thing every day, regardless how you feel, became a superpower for me, because it's a lifestyle. It's not an option. It's not something I even consider to be like, am I going to go to the gym or not today? Fuck's sake, get out of here, son. What do you even like? That's not a question. That's just an obligation that I've created for myself. Why? Because it works. I'm not questioning whether it works or not. That's why I do it. If I didn't know if it worked or not, then it would be on the table maybe, but it works. I know it works. So why would I ever stop doing it? I feel amazing because I do it. So it brings me up to this point, and on my coaching call Tuesday, I went on a rant like 20 minutes about this because I hurt my back here recently. I'm coming out of it now, but last few days physically, there's a day or two I could not move, like bad shape. And I can't even tell you exactly what I did. So that's the worst part. It pulled muscle. Body probably said, them 11 o'clock nights are now going to kick you right in the nuts and you're going to take a nap for a while. More than likely it's that, shut down a little bit. But I started thinking about, mental strength and physical strength and how do they align with each other, because they're different, but they're directly correlated. And I couldn't help but think mental strength is downstream of physical strength, because I've had a lot of situations mentally that I've had to overcome. I've had to digest what was truth, download that, and then feel all of it and then go through it. But if I'm in a state of overthinking or not thinking clearly, the worst thing that I can do is sit there and think about the problem. I have never sat around overthinking about overthinking and it became better. So I've slept in before and I've woke up early and went to the gym, and I can't help but think that physical strength is actually creating mental strength, because I have been in a really bad mood and there's never been a nap that I've taken that created me to have a better mood. But going to the gym and letting that out has always put me in a better mood, regardless at the end. No matter how I felt walking in, I feel better walking out. So thinking about your thinking, is a term that's often in coach and whatnot. So
Yeah.
real mental strength sometimes comes from the ability to have physical strength at the times that it's the hardest mentally. And the release that you can get from, science will show you that the trap of the analysis by paralysis, like you're just stuck in this spiral negativity. You're not going to sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction. So like, you're not going to buy a bar and quit drinking. You're not going to surround yourself with more of the thing that's hurting you and expecting it to get better. So we attempt to fix the problem with the tool or the thing that actually created the malfunction in the first place. What do you think about this like analysis that I'm kind of throwing out there, and how our cognitive control a lot of the time is based on our physical output?
Oh, they play off each other. I was under the weather a few days ago, and thankfully I've journaled for 6.5 years now, so I can go back and see every time I'm under the weather, it's like the world is crumbling. And it's not truly not, but mentally you feel weaker, you feel slower, and then you start second guessing, and then it just all spirals, and you need to remind yourself like, hey, I'm physically not there, and it's going to mentally impact me. And those are actually great days to eliminate things, because I'll go through again, we use Asana, so I'll go through all the things I'm working on and I'll just start I'm like, this is stupid, we'll never do this, this is a waste. It's like, pull it all back. And then you wake up and you feel more motivated, and you're able to accomplish more. And then you can, it goes hand in hand. I use the gym just like you. You could have I mean, I'll wake up early. I won't get enough sleep, but I know if I get to the gym and do some sort of workout, it's going to have a big impact because it's, I don't know, something magical. You turns on where you, even if you're there, the first person in the gym at 5 a.m. and you get a good workout in, like you've already started exponentially better than you anticipated. So it plays off each other. And it's difficult because it's very, again, I'm very thankful health and family health, and it's difficult because if you're not healthy, you have, I mean, the quote where it's like every person has 99 problems, but the person that's unhealthy is one.
Yeah.
It's like it's so important to be mentally and physically strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough if you're not physically there. Getting that mental, I don't have good advice in terms of like it's. I've been fortunate where you get through a cold or a flu and you bounce back on the other end, but it's always kind of like it's dark and then it figures itself out and I wake up and it's, I'll drive into work and I'll be excited and it's a new day. So
I think
it's just figuring it out. It's sticking to your routines is probably the best way. Like you wake up and you don't feel well. It's like, you know what? Let me at least go. I'll go walk on an incline. Like that'll be enough. Like it's still something. It's still like I'm still physically doing something and I'm still going through that routine so you don't break the habit.
you don't have to have 100% to give 100%. Most days my tank is not 50%, not 60%. It's not full. I can't tell you the last time I could say I've been 100%, like recovered, ready to go, any of that. But I give what I got that day. And so like I know I might be 20%, but I'm going to give you all that 20% and it's going to be 100% of what I have that day. It might not be much, but it's what I got. So it's what I'm going to give you. And I think a good sweat sometimes is a lot better than a little sleep. So if it's an hour trade-off of sweat versus sleep,
I do agree with you. It's tough sometimes, and I have gone the other way where I'll hit the not hit the snooze, but the night before I'll just say, "Listen, I'm sleeping in."
There's times,
but I
where
agree
it's
with you
necessary.
by and large.
Yeah. There, and I'm not advocating it for a daily, everyday thing, a lifestyle. Like there's times when it's the hardest mentally. It's the hardest mentally because you're mentally trapped in that mental state. You're overthinking the problem. You're considering the problem to be bigger than what it is because you're not getting out of that one lane of thought process. And you kind of mentioned it too, where if you're sick, like everything, the world's crashing down when you're sick. Why? Because you can't physically move. And that's exactly what happened to me. My back is not in the best shape right now. I'm in pain. I can't go work out the way I want to. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I'm stuck. I'm trapped in my own head. And so like I did the same thing. I was in the sauna the other day and I'm feeling this pain. I'm trying to make it better. And I'm like, it's pretty bad pain. And I can't move right. So I can't function right. So my mental, like cognitive ability on a daily is compromised because I can't physically
you spiral.
the way I do.
You spiral. It's so easy to spiral in those scenarios. And then thankfully, again, having people around you, my significant other is always, my wife is the best. So in terms of, she'll feel the spiral and she's like, listen, it's not, calm down. Like it's not over.
The most optimistic people in the world still need someone that they can rely on to call them on their shit in that moment of hardship. And I think that support system is needed at all times in life. You always got to have someone that you can either rely on or lean on to say, hey, you're being a dipshit. This is what's real. Get out of your head. That's course correct. Let's do whatever. But it's the self accountability and self awareness sometimes is hardest for the people that have the most of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think,
I don't know if you and your business partner have these scenarios, but my business partner and I have often will have where it's like something will happen and one of us will be like, this is the end of the world. What are we going to do? And the other one, inevitably, the other one's like, listen, it's fine. I got this. We could do this. And then it'll flip flop where it's like, it could even be the next day where it's like something happens and you're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And it's like, listen, I couldn't imagine going at this alone, having somebody there with you because there's always, I mean, I've never, again, knock on wood, we've never been insane at the same time. There's always one sane feedback mechanism. So it's having that partnership to be able to succeed together.
It's huge because how we view things is normally how we do things. So if we view chaos or, destruction, or like no way out, that's how we're probably going to operate. But having that person that can say, dude, you're looking at a 2-foot ledge. Your view is wrong on this. It's not 20 foot down. Where if you fall off the ledge at 20 foot, you're going to die. But at 2 foot, you're not going to sprain an
Yeah.
ankle, right? And so sometimes it's just that
Yeah.
view from the other lens that you really need, or maybe yours is just a little bit blurry because of your own situation or whatever else it is. And I think it's really unique that you mentioned that, because perception of what's real and what's real often are a lot different. What we deem reality is sometimes not the reality of what it is.
Well, okay. Every business owner is there because they are stupid enough to be optimistic about the future of like figuring all this out, but also pessimistic enough of like every little thing is the end of the world, because if you don't address it, it could unravel all of it. So it's this insane mechanism of balancing the optimism of we will figure this out and the pessimism of this could happen, we need to be prepared. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. We make it work.
So we have like uninformed optimism when we start. This is going to be the best thing ever. I'm so excited for this. Nothing else is going to go wrong. And then we learn, and it's like we have informed pessimism, because it's like, shit, this sucks. Like you're looking at your end of the day. It's like 16 hours a day, and I didn't even get anything advanced. I'm behind. And then you have like this crisis that happens. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I going through all this? What is the point? And then it's either it's right. Like we all have that. Like, why?
If you don't have that at least once a week, you're not taking enough risk. There's at least if it's hey, everything's going well, I nailed it all. You're not trying hard enough. There's got to be at least one point every week where something goes horrifically wrong. You're like, what am I doing? Why am I like? What is this? Like, why'd I even try? So it's
wild, and then like you have that questioning of why, like why am I even doing this? And it's like this crisis of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then most people crash and burn after that. Most people cannot handle whatever the thing is, and it becomes so overbearing and so heavy as the weight that you just don't make it through it. But then it's almost like you either crash and burn or you just crash and don't burn. So some people quit. Some people are just like, you know what? Here's the reality. It's almost like you come back to that informed optimism where this isn't that bad. Like my other option is, like, you get very clear when you have hit rock bottom, because there's only up from there. You crash, but then you're like, I'm not going to burn. That shit's too hot. It hurts too bad. Like, I don't want to be on fire. So why don't I just do this? Or why don't I, like, one step at a time to get back? And then you're wise enough to know the reality of everything and optimistic enough to know that you will never go back to the person that just crashed, or you don't ever want that thing to happen again. So you just course correct what you know didn't work and take one step at a time and have a different view on life. And then
but now the rest of your life you've got, hey, you've got the knowledge. You won't make the same mistake.
Mm-hmm. And then you
can read all the books, and I still enjoy the books. I'm not going to knock the business books and I love the lessons. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time it's those have come from an area of they've made the mistakes. So inevitably every business owner will make a mistake, mm-hmm. and they'll learn from it, and then they'll put it in a book one day and hope nobody else makes it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's inevitable. There's always going to be something.
I tell you what, dude, the more that I learn, the more that I realize I don't know anything. And the paradox of knowledge, right? So this little bubble that you fill up whenever you first start learning, you read these books and you have no information about business. Let's use business as a topic. And this little bubble, and you fill that bubble up real quick. Like, I know everything. I'm the man. And then that bubble was popped. And then you realize this is the bubble and you know this much. It's like the more that we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. And that's why we continue to grow and do this thing. And there's never going to be a time that we know it all. There's never going to be a time where we have all the information that we need. It's a continuous improvement until the day that we're buried. And that's what the whole journey is all about. So how do you make that being the case and bring it back to what current state is and be grateful for what you have? I heard a thing the other day. It said, how do you define or create meaning? Like, how do you destroy it? How do you destroy meaning or create meaning? And I sat there and thought, man, like, why with business, why does what I do have to feel meaningful in the future? Like, I'm not seeking for this meaning or this thing that's meaningful. Because if I'm looking at it that way, then the gap from today to where I'm going, there's a discrepancy, meaning that what I do today is not meaningful. What we do every day as an individual is meaningful. The only thing that makes it not meaningful is the belief system that it makes that true. So in your personal life, in your professional life, everything that you do has meaning. It's just whether you find value in the meaning of it and if you believe it's meaningful. But finding that thing isn't going to make it feel meaningful. You have to believe it is to begin with. There is no accolade or accomplishment that we ever have that's going to make us feel a certain way if we have not internalized who we are. It's all internal
Yeah,
for us, right?
couldn't agree more.
So, what is the measure of fulfillment or success for me? Who's the most intelligent person that I've ever met? It's the person that has the most fulfillment. Because IQ, EQ, all the different measurables that you can have in life are useless if you're not truly happy internally. If you don't have true fulfillment, presence of mind, grateful for what you have.
It comes at a balance. It comes at you don't want to push yourself to the level where you're always unhappy, because you meet successful people like that where they're incredibly successful, but it's never enough. It is easy to look at, also you can get to the level where you hit the metric that you wanted, the success, and you sit back and retire, and that lasts for a little bit, and then you want to get back out there. Or you hit this in between of you're always pushing yourself just enough where you're always afraid. I think when I started, I thought that as I got better, it would become less scary, because it's like, well, okay, at a certain point, we're going to hit certain metrics and we're going to be better. But then every business owner that's worth their salt will always overextend, right? When you're lifting, you're never going to lift the same thing. Your goal is, okay, I'm going to go and or you're going to lift the same thing, but with the intention of doing it for more reps. I mean, the human body is meant to push itself. And I agree, it's getting to a level where you're satisfied with what you're doing, but also the feeling of like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Entrepreneurship.
Meaning is the most important part of all of it. It's but you know what? My business partner and I have reminded ourselves time and time again, if we're both unhappy with the situation, we're always sitting here like, hey, this is our reality. Like, we don't have to, we could change it. We don't have to just sit here and accept it. I'm sure my daughter will love me when she grows up and says, I don't want to do this, or you have to, because I always remind my wife, I'm like, we don't need to do anything. We could sell it all tomorrow, move to Europe. We don't have to do anything ever. Like, it's the whole point of it is getting caught in this trap of like, oh, I need to do this. This is happening to me. It's stepping back and saying, okay, I can change this. How can I change this? I don't need to do this.
You get to, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Right. So it happens for me, not to me. It's perspective on in every area of life. There is very rarely anything that we are forced to have to do. It's something that we choose to do, but we feel forced, and that's what makes it miserable.
Yes. And you have to remind yourself, you could always step back and say, listen, you don't need to clean the dishes every night. Now, the repercussions of that are you're going to live in filth, but like, you don't have to. Like, you make a conscious decision of, I want to live in a good.
But there's options to it, right?
Or if you want, or if you hate doing the dishes and you don't want to live in filth, well, you could invest in somebody to come every day and clean your dishes. Like, it's going to be expensive, but again, you have options. Like,
there's a choice there.
It's stepping back. Yeah.
Patrick, I want to give you the next couple minutes. Talk about your business, talk about your plans for the year, talk about whatever the hell you want. The show is yours. The platform is yours. Just tell the world what you got going on, my man.
We've got a ton going on. So main business, Proceed Innovative. We're focused on generating business opportunities for the 100+ businesses we service. We focus on digital marketing, so getting businesses found online, helping them cut through the noise, actually attracting the right people, and then converting those people. Sounds basic. Our team does an incredible job of doing it. They have been hyper-focused on utilizing, it's called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. So utilizing AI to the businesses we work for's benefit. So some of our biggest leads last year came from ChatGPT. And we are doing that for the businesses we work with as well. Of Google is still important. Google rankings are still important. They do go hand in hand. So we're not burning it all down and starting over, but doing that next step to help businesses grow, scale, be prepared for the revolution that is AI. I mean, we track 100 plus companies. 2024, less than 1% of leads came from AI. Last year, depending on the industry, 2 to 5%. So almost a 5x growth. Now, this year, if that continues, you could see anywhere from 15 to 25% growth in AI lead generation.
Wow.
And it's going to come to the companies that are prepared. It's no longer I'm the 10th on the page, and that's still going to get me some traffic. It's going to be the top 1 or 2 are going to get all of those leads. And we're seeing that success on our end and able to actually impact it on the businesses we work with send. So that's the main focus there. Proceed, working with some big, awesome businesses. On the other hand, we also started a subset, different business focused on AI call centers. So a lot of the businesses we work with scale, but the first thing to go is a good intake. And AI does a great job of level 1 phone support. So intaking leads, transferring to the right people, answering basic business questions. I mean, for the last almost year now, our main call center has been AI. His name's James. He's fantastic. You can call him, you can test him. But he does a great job of intaking the lead. And we do about 200 calls a day now of AI handled calls where it's cost effective for owners. It's awesome for the team because it's no longer like, oh, I got a call, you were supposed to talk to them, let me transfer you. And it's awesome for the user because God knows nobody wants to hear that click 1 for this, click 2 for this, click 3 for this. Thank you for calling. Please stand by. Everybody's screaming operator. It's funny, even people will scream operator at James sometimes. He's like, I'd love to help you. You got to tell me who you want to talk to. Like, I am the operator. Like, you tell me. And then they'll, well, I need to talk to Patrick. Okay, well, then I'll transfer you 1 second.
Get on your damn cell phone and text them. If you know them.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right?
It's
like, hey, come on.
Or sometimes they'll say, okay, why do you want to talk to Patrick? And they're like, I want to sell him something. He's like, let me take a message.
Right. That's hilarious. Patrick, I cannot thank you enough for your time today. Any final thoughts? ProceedInnovative.com. Is that your website? What's your website?
ProceedInnovative.com. The AI call centers, dialmind.com. Both are rolling this year. So we are growing. We are impacting more people, the use of AI, incredible teams on both ends. That's the most important piece in the world of change is finding people that can adapt to it because it's not going to get slower. And that's the difficult thing. That's what we all kind of face this transition in 2025 of like, oh my God, this is moving so fast. How are we going to do this? And we did it. But now it's recognizing that it's not going to slow down. So we need to get really good at reinventing, replicating. And I mean, even on the AI call center over the course of 6 months, we went from basic to it speaks Spanish to it has memory to it has the ability to live internet search. So now it can call, somebody can call it, ask what the Super Bowl score is going to be. You can call it back. It's going to remember who you are. All of these things are happening in such a quick period of time. And it's the same on the digital marketing side of we're seeing things working that nobody would have thought of before. So I'm excited. And I appreciate Jacob. I appreciate you having me back. I'm losing my voice. We've been talking for an hour and a half. So it's
my man, I'll let you go back and get your voice back in order for your next meeting. I know you got one coming up. I cannot thank you enough. I will not see you here soon, but I will see you in May, if nothing else, in Chicago. I'm glad I'm not coming to Chicago right now. It's cold enough in Ohio, so I'm flying south. But nonetheless, my dude, I appreciate you. Florida. I will probably be in touch here soon, and we can catch up non-podcast conversation maybe on some potential needs that I might have that you could probably help me out with. So thank you for everything, my dude. Girl dads for life. Patrick,
yes,
my friend. Cannot
the
thank
best.
you enough.
Thank you, Jacob.
All right. Until next time, Iron Infrastructure Podcast. This was Patrick. ProceedInnovative.com.
Proceed Innovative. ProceedInnovative.com.
What's the other one?
Dial Mind.
Dial Mind, man.
You're dialing, and then your mind.
Dial that mind up. Thanks for listening to the show. Go find Patrick and let him help you out. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate you. Stop telling yourself one day. It isn't about one day. It's about day one. Today should be your day one. What you need isn't another day. What you need is clarity with the community to give you confidence to unlock your greatness. That's what the group coaching program is all about. Confidence, clarity, via commitment. Hit the show link in the notes. Let's start unlocking your greatness now, today.